Hello, this is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading. This is just a reading about fresh starts. The new year is coming, but whenever you get this reading, it could be like the new year, your birthday, a new season, just something where you feel like you want a bit of a do-over. And this is like how to master that do-over. It's just all about fresh starts. And I've chosen the Fool card from 4 separate tarot decks. So you are going to pick the tarot card that jumps out at you, and that's going to be your pile. So I'm going to zoom in on this for a second, and you can see we have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. And yeah, just pick the color, the picture, whatever it is that like speaks to you. That's your pile, and you can jump to the timestamp below in the description. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at your reading. Goodbye. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. This is a reading entitled This Is Your Fresh Start, and basically it's like how to master this do-over. So whatever it is you want a fresh start on, whether it's, I think it could be anything from like a diet to a relationship to like a mindset to just work, career, life, whatever it is, there's just something you're thinking about, and this really is, like ways to just make it the best it can be for you, and maybe we'll get some insight as well. So this is the Fool of my cat tarot deck. I like to start by asking, why are you here? Like, I just want to see in 3 cards why this reading, what brought you to this reading, and why are you here, and why do you need a fresh start? So let's see you in 3 cards. Okay, so we have the 6 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 9 of Wands, and the Emperor. So to me, this has something to do with money. It has something to do with, it has something to do with power. It has something to do with success. I think it has something to do with happiness. I was thinking this was 9 of Pentacles, and I just lost my mind for a second. This is 9 of Wands. It's a little bit different, actually. This, instead of speaking to money so much, this tells me that you've kind of built up a little bit of this resiliency. I think there's something like you want to get back to this state of control. There's something that you aren't doing that you should be doing. But more than that, there's something you want to be doing that you're not doing. I think this has something to do with work. I think this has something to do with or it's something in your life that's missing. And I don't want this to sound like I don't want this reading to sound like it can apply to just anyone. In my head, I'm trying to put a word with like this, this emotion that I have for you, but it's something like there's something that would make you truly happy that you aren't doing. And I guess what I mean by that is there's either like a career path or a passion project. There's an outlet, like it could be a creative outlet. It could be working towards something. But I really do get the impression that this is something you've been wanting to do for a long time, but for whatever reason, you haven't done it. And the resiliency piece here tells me that you've almost become like resilient to the desires of this. Like you have really suppressed them, whether you've told yourself like, oh, I'm not going to make any money if I do that. It's going to be too hard of an endeavor. Or maybe you think like, maybe it won't make me as happy as I think, or I'm actually quite happy. So why would I really need to like switch things up and explore that? Whatever this thing is, I'd like to think that right now you know what I'm talking about. And the easiest examples I can give are something like a passion project. It could be like taking up painting. It could be, I always say it could be starting a YouTube channel. It could be doing something that you've talked yourself out of, or you've given yourself excuses as to why it just doesn't really suit your mode or your whatever you're doing right now. But actually, I think this is something you should allow yourself to do. And I almost feel like this fresh start would be you starting this particular project, or you really going in this direction. And this, to me, it is a sense of control for you. This is yours. This is something that you own. It's no one else's. It's all yours, and it's your baby. It's your project. And this could even be too, like adopting an animal, or something along those lines of like taking in, caring for something. But there is something you want that you've talked yourself out of, and you've given yourself ample reason. And I just feel like if you were to do this, it really would be like, it would be big enough and consuming enough that it would feel like a whole new you, like a whole new chapter in your world, because you could be like, oh, pre this and then post this. So I think everything right now is kind of pre this decision to get this, to start this, to do this. It's something like that. That's kind of where I see this fresh start going for you. And let me say a little bit about this, like this new, I'm going to call it a project, but it could be other things. But I want to see a little bit about like what this feels like. What is this, this endeavor of sorts that would actually make you quite happy, and that you know what this is. So let's get a little bit about, I don't know, just what this is. So here we have 9 of Swords. Okay. 3 of Pentacles. And 4 of Swords. Okay, so there is something about this that it's a bigger undertaking than maybe I realized up at the top. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it at all. I just think it means it does. It's extra. It takes a little bit more than just like waking up one day and saying you're going to do this. But there's something about this that I think would really give your life that kind of, it would inject like some inspiration, some happiness, some liveliness like into your whole world. But it is a big deal. And what I see for this is that it does take planning. It takes some structure. I do think it's something that would either be stressful, but not in a bad way, just in a like, maybe you'd have to like put some capital in it to start, or maybe you would have to like forego some earnings because this would take more time, more energy. I do feel like there's a little bit of stress, and I do think that like there would be sleepless nights. You'd be working a lot harder. It would take a lot more of your time, but for whatever reason, this is still something that would make you very, very happy. And this could even be a relationship of sorts, or like, starting a relationship with a certain person, or going all in on a relationship. I mean, it could be anything, I suppose, but just to make this reading feel more like accurate, to me, this is something that you start, that you do, and this just gives you this kind of like new lease on life, and it really is a fresh start. And something about this feels like this is an opportunity for you to be like more financially independent, for you to have like just more of your own thing going on, separate from anyone else. And that's the Emperor card. There's something here about you. I don't know if it's like you being your own boss, but no one can take this from you. No one can control it. It's yours. There's like some autonomy here, and it feels good, but maybe there would be a little risk, a little jeopardizing or sacrificing some things to get this started. But this does feel like a fresh start, and it feels like there is a lot of potential here. So I'm going to ask, what are the benefits of doing this? Whatever this thing is that you are connecting with right now, what are the benefits, and like, why should you do it? So let's see what the benefits are. So we have 8 of Wands, which is a great card, King of Wands, and Strength. So, sorry, excuse me. To me, it is empowering. There's a message here that tells me it is something that you feel passionate about. And I get the fact that these 2 Wands cards came up. There's something exciting about this. This 8 of Wands is one of the like kind of lucky cards in the whole suit of Wands. It implies like good news, travel, good tidings, just I don't know, good news and travel is just a basic way of describing this card. But in this context, I feel like this really will bring new opportunity to you, new life, new everything, new people, new excitement, new foods, new sources of income. I just feel like there's a newness here that will kind of free you of anything that might feel stagnant right now. I feel like you need this to, you almost feel a little bit stuck right now, or you feel like you've been maybe doing the same thing for a while and you haven't taken a chance in a while. There's something about this, like there's this edge to this. It feels exciting. It feels like it would be you kind of like letting it all ride. There's a sense of this risk, but it's an exciting risk. And I actually think that it's enough of a calculated risk that you really, I don't want to say you can't lose, but I think the odds are definitely stacked in your favor, or yeah, like you're gonna, this could be a very good thing for you. But either way, I think pursuing it, just knowing that it's something you can do and are willing to do and have them like the stamina and the energy and the courage to do is big. And I'd like to see you do this just based on these cards and based on this being like your fresh start. And if you do this, this King of Wands energy is really, it's very boss bitch. It's very like you're in control. You know what you want. You don't really need anyone else. It makes me think like you can support yourself if you need to. You can move away. You can stay. You can change things. You don't have to like ask for permission. There's very much this independent energy that comes off of this. And if I were to talk about this a little bit more, I could incorporate this into like possibly there being a relationship dynamic where you need kind of for your own sanity or your own peace of mind or your own income. Like it just feels like this is almost like a lifeline to you. This is your own little lifeline. This is your fresh start. It really is the feeling here. So I hope if you're still here, I know the top line was kind of like, what are we getting at? But this is definitely what it feels like. And the strength card is, this is your strength. This is, I'll say it again, kind of like your lifeline. Your, I don't know if it's going to turn into like your whole purpose, and I don't necessarily want it to, but I think it is going to be that thing that kind of feeds you and just inspires you. And I think you've been lacking a lot of inspiration and a lot of excitement, and this is definitely coming for you, and it will feel like a whole new do-over. And if you're still watching this and you really have no idea what this could be, I would say think about like some passion or something that you've thought about, or maybe you haven't even thought about since you were a kid, that back when you were a kid you wanted to do. But I feel like there is something that if you really dove into it and made it yours, you wouldn't regret it. So this is your reading. I'm going to, it's hard to do them too long when they're so vague, because I like can't center this really around the relationships or anything like that, and I don't want to pretend to know. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna pull these. So there was something about you feeling a little bit just stagnant or uninspired, or just like there isn't really a freshness maybe right now. Like I don't know if there's a big pep in your step, although I think seeking this fresh start is a great start, and I think that right there feels a little more invigorating than maybe like past days or weeks. But there still feels like doing this and really starting to pursue this will be just this huge endeavor for you that will be very big. So I want to see maybe an energy that you're kind of holding on to now, to like not like shove it in your face, but highlight like maybe this is you now, and maybe this is where you could be if you do this. So these cards tend to be a little darker or edgier. So let's see if this feels like you now. And this is risk. And actually this is probably one of the better examples, because this isn't you in a like, oh, you're so downtrodden, you're so stressed. I think this is you actually thinking that this is a risk, but you're willing to risk something. Like you're willing to just, like I said before, let it all ride. I feel like you're right on that threshold of like, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. Like once I start it, there's no going back. And I do think this will kind of have like a snowball effect where you really won't be able to, stop the train so easily once you get started. But I do feel like you're kind of assessing risk, and you're ready for it, and you're ready for it. Like this is you being ready for it. And these cards are fun, and I think for the most part all very beautiful. But let's see where you're at if you do this, like I guess near future, once you start pursuing this and just leaning into this passion, and let's see what you can look forward to. So we've got Wisdom, which I don't know if it's the sexiest card in the deck, but it is interesting in that, sorry, I feel like I'm screaming. It is interesting in that there's something to it. Maybe right now you do feel like you're not like firing on all cylinders. Maybe you feel a little sluggish. Maybe you feel like there's so much more you have to offer. And I just feel like with this Wisdom card, this is kind of part of your gift. This is what you're here to share, what you're here to do. And there is something about this that I just think is going to be like very like mind expanding. It's going to alter, it's going to show you a whole new world basically. And there is something in this Wisdom piece, which I think this is going to open other like doorways and I don't know, portholes or whatever you want. I just feel like this really is going to bring things to you that are going to open your eyes. Your eyes are kind of going to be opened. And that's what I get from this wisdom piece. And I stretched that a little bit, but that's truly how I feel this is for you. And I've talked, I'm not going to talk about it very long because I don't know if anyone's still listening to this, but I've talked about this like YouTube journey that I'm on. And this feels a lot like what this YouTube journey would have felt like for me basically a year ago, where it's a creative endeavor. It's a creative outlet. You hope to make something of it. You're very confident that it will turn into something, but you'll never know until you try it. And once you do it, it's yours. It's all yours. It's yours for life, and you can make it whatever you want. And I think that's what I see here for you. So I hope you like this reading. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Something in my throat. Excuse me, I'm going to stop. It feels like a fresh start. Please like, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much. Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. We are doing a reading entitled "This is Your Fresh Start" and how to make the most of this do-over or this fresh start, whatever it turns out to be. The last reading was like a fresh start kind of thing, like something to kind of inject energy and fresh life into your veins. And so we'll see where this reading goes. You picked this lovely Fool card, which is probably what I would have picked too. There's something it's like a naughty unicorn, but not really naughty, not in a like weird, like sexual way. Just like, I don't know, there's something just fun and kind of dark in a really fun, playful way. But it's okay. This is your pile. So I want to see why you're here right now. And I want to then get into this fresh start that we're going to find for you. So, okay, why are you here? What's this all about? Okay, the Hangman. Definitely, it makes me feel of like a stagnancy. Ooh, the Death card. There's some great cards. Spirit of Cups. So, I would say, I mean, I don't know why I'm making light of this, because this actually feels slightly heavy. I would say you need some life. You need some excitement. You need some happiness. You need a pick-me-up. You need inspiration. I do think things feel heavy and stagnant for you, and the Spirit of Cups does make me think that you probably are, when I say overly emotional, I don't mean it as like an attack to your empathetic self, but I do think you might be a little heavy into your feels these days. And so I almost feel like this fresh start for you is kind of this like, you just need you need to press reset. And I think this reset is going to like reset everything. Your feelings, if your heart's broken, if you've lost someone, if you're, I don't know, you moved away and you don't have any friends, whatever it is, I just feel like there's this weight and this heaviness. And if I look at this unicorn, I mean, this unicorn does have kind of like a sadness. There's kind of this, there's a piece to this unicorn where you just want to like, hug her and dye her pink and like change her little black eyes into like blue ones or something. There's just this sense of, I guess there's a little melancholy that comes off of this and off of you. However, there is also this freshness, and there really is an energy here, and I can feel it, because I think you really are excited. You're ready. You want this fresh start. You want this reset. And I do feel like with the emotions, you are someone who, although you might be tend to like emotional moments, I think you're someone who communicates easily, but you're in an abnormal state of, I don't know, feels. I don't know how else to say it, but let's see what it is that you need and what your fresh start looks like. And what is this all about? Or just how can we help you get this? Because I think you need it, and it is definitely coming your way. And just being here is exciting because there's something in the cards for you. It might not be an exact like blueprint of how to do this, but it's something that's going to inspire you, that's going to make you do that one thing you were supposed to do that might change everything for you. So it's just, just lean into it and let's see where this goes. So I have no idea what question I was going to ask. Let's see what your fresh start looks like. I don't know if that's what I just asked. It might have been. It sounds like it. Okay, what does your fresh start look like in 3 cards? The High Priestess. So it's mysterious. Earth Mother, my favorite card in the deck. Always the Empress card. And Spirit of Pentacles. So there's definitely, I will say this, because we have Spirit, which is Queen. So we have 2 spirits. We have the High Priestess, which is feminine. high feminine energy, and the Earth Mother, which is the Empress, which is also like divine feminine. There's a very, very, very feminine, heavy feminine energy here. Your fresh start looks like you tapping into your divine feminine. I have no idea what that means. But let's see, there's something. Okay, so the Spirit of Pentacles, I like the Spirit of Pentacles. At worst, this person can be codependent, but at best, this person is very nurturing, very loving, very like tending. It's like a very like motherly energy. The Earth Mother is just the goddess mother. It's a card to like imply like fertility, just everything that is feminine and like, I don't know, just beautiful divine feminine. And the High Priestess, there's so much mystery and like divinity off this card. There's something so, hence the owl and the palms in the moon. It's just, there's something powerful. Okay, this is a powerful message, and there's something in you that really needs to come out. And I don't know if there's like this feminine or vulnerable side of yourself that you've been suppressing. I don't know if you've been in a relationship where like just maybe you really want kids and it has something to do with that. And I don't really ever speak to that because for some people that's a really big deal. But there's something here like you want to nurture or love or let this part of yourself shine. And I, without speculating or speaking too much to any one point in that, if any of those track, then maybe your fresh start is, I'm going to say adopting an animal or getting on a path to figure out how you would have a child if that's something you really want. Or maybe finding a way to care for someone or something that fills a void somehow. I just feel like, and that's, I don't know, there's just a sense here that there's something that you've been suppressing or you haven't been able to do that feels very like ultra feminine. And I need to study more about like feminine and masculine qualities and energy and like how they present and what they are. But there's something, there's a message here. And I don't know if through pain or hurt or heartbreak, you kind of turn this piece off to like function or cope or handle things in a way. Maybe you tried to like really suppress your emotions and it just made things worse. And then you felt like out of control. Because when I think of feminine energy, I definitely think of like a vulnerability, but I think of it like being very controlled. I don't think of someone who's overly emotional. It's like there's a confidence to the feminine energy. It's not like so over the top that there's like a big ego attached to it, which feels masculine. But I feel like the feminine is very like open to criticism, confident, malleable, and just kind of like a little bit more go with the flow. And but then there is that very like loving, nurturing side as well that I feel like a lot of women just naturally have. So yeah, definitely something here about this divine feminine. And it's interesting for a fresh start. I do go back to this piece of like, there's something you want to care for or something, or maybe there's like, I don't want to say a wrong that you want to right, but there might be something you can fix that only you can fix, or that only your nature or your way can really like, that can benefit from that. There's something maybe that you can undo, or work towards that maybe you feel like guilt over. I'm not sure, but I don't know. And maybe that's just like a phone call to someone that really needed to hear an apology or really needed you to check in. Like that might start something that would be like very much a fresh start. I feel like there's one little thing that might be holding you back from starting fresh that's kind of keeping you locked up here. I don't know, maybe it's like a letter that you never send or an email that you never send, but there's something that needs to be like expressed or let out. And that might be part of like that feminine piece, that very like in touch, emotional kind of outpour. But I want to see. So this is this fresh start, and it's a very clear message, but yet it's also totally unclear and very vague. And I don't know that that we got anywhere with it. But I want to ask another question. What is this? How do you find this? How do you do this? What does this actually look like? How are you going to, how does this, how are you going to do this? So we've got 5 of Wands, Innocence of Wands, and the Sun. Okay. So there's a power here. This is like, this to me feels more masculine. The Sun is masculine. It's fire, it's energy, it's passion. It's not this watery, emotional kind of drain in a way. It's very like in your face, love me, love who I am, unapologetic. Again, this like not asking for permission. So, and the 5 of Wands, this is actually conflict, but in an okay way. And I think in a way that's needed. It's like that conflict. So there is something here maybe about a conversation or like something you do, something you start, an apology, a conversation, a topic. I feel like there's a discussion of some sort that needs to be had. And again, maybe this is something you have, maybe it's not maybe you can't even have it with this person anymore. Maybe they're not here, or they're not really someone you can just reach out to for whatever reason, but it's somehow these words need to be put out into the universe, if that doesn't sound too crazy, and you need to address that conflict or that pain. And I feel like somehow that lies in here as well. And the more I do this reading, like it started out heavy and I tried to like not joke about it, but I tried to make it seem like, oh, we're emotional, that's fine, you're an emotional human, and not get over it, but like, okay, move on. And then but there is a weight here. And I do think there's something you need to address. And I really think once you do that, you're going to get your strength back. Because you do feel like you have a lot of fire in you, and you do feel, like someone who generally operates in a pretty balanced way. And I do think you are this kind of like earthy goddess type of person. You feel very connected. You do feel a lot like the Empress card, or even the High Priestess card. Like this does feel like an energy of yours, but right now there's something missing. And a lot of it has to do with your confidence. For whatever reason, you're not on point. You're not yourself. And it's interesting how different this reading is than the last one, and how the last reading, the fresh start, was completely different than this. But I do feel like for you, your fresh start is some form of addressing some kind of conflict, some kind of like confrontation, some kind of interaction, putting something out there. And I really think this is going to give you, the Innocence of Wands to me is also a fresh start. It's a new path. It's a new direction. It's a clean slate. And it kind of stems from like what you really want. Whereas this, it's not like a clean slate to feel whatever you want. It's a clean slate to, towards passion, to moving in the direction you want. It is you now picking your direction once you do this. And I think you're going to find this empowering, and something that you've been kind of waiting for, and something you're very, very much ready for, because you need this, because you need this. And I like this for you. I want to turn over 2 cards that I guess just kind of further highlight your situation. Maybe I'm just trying to validate this reading for you, but there's 2 more cards I'm going to turn over, and I think that'll be the end of the reading. But I want to see you right now in this card, like the energy you're holding. And I don't actually, in some ways, I don't know why I do this, because you know the energy you're holding, but I just want to I want to have this I don't know, I guess I just want to validate this a little bit, and let's see if this really is the energy you're holding right now, and if we can speak to it. And a perspective, which it's not a bad energy to be holding at all. It's kind of positive. And I think maybe this reading truly is giving you perspective. Maybe this is really resonating. Maybe this is like sitting with you in a way where you're like, I can see this. But I do think if this tracks and you're actually at this reading right now asking for a fresh start, that to me that's a new perspective. A fresh start is a different perspective. It's a different angle. It's a different, I don't know, whatever. But it is a new perspective. And I really think you're ready for this. And I think this will just give you a whole new lease on life, a whole new, I just feel there's going to be energy, and there's like now a hope for happiness, and there's a new path. There's something about this new path, this new direction, and this will truly give you a new perspective. Okay, I'm going to take one of these cards, which are all fairly warm and fuzzy, or not warm and fuzzy. They're just beautiful. Let's put it that way. And this is going to be you once you figure out what the message you have to convey to someone is, what the note you have to write is, the apology, the conflict, the conversation, the confrontation, whatever it is, it's something that I do think has to come from you and be initiated from you. Excuse me. And that'll set you down this path that I think is going to be very well lit, and is actually going to have, for a change, a little masculine energy that you've been missing. But there is also this feminine piece down here that you have to absolutely tap into and own and dive into and like wholeheartedly address. But this is still part of a healing. This is still part of your journey and your healing process. But I think as you do this and come out of this, this is your fresh start and your new path. And this is like for you to conquer right here. And this is what your near future looks like once you do this. And we have focus. So what I get out of the focus card, and I like the colors. They're very beautiful. I like the spotted leopard, snow leopard. I mean, focus is like, okay, great. So you can focus, but I think it's that clear head. You're not up here. You're no longer in your feelings. You're no longer like clouded or cluttered with thoughts of, just, I don't know. It's you have a new perspective. So you have a clear mind. Yeah. You're just not bogged down with like old memories playing over, or regrets, or something along those lines. And that does feel like very overly emotional and feminine. So I do think this focus is like, it just feels very balanced. It feels very serene, and it feels like you are finally functioning clearly. And yeah, there's this kind of weight and this fog over you right now. You just feel very foggy, very misty eyed, like you're hazy. You aren't in focus. I mean, actually, when I think of you right now, you're blurred out a little bit. And I want you, and even yourself. I don't think you're even in focus for yourself right now. I just, and again, it's funny because the focus, it does really tie into the perspective, just that, the lens, and, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this reading up. I hope you liked this. I hope this was enough of a reading to, highlight what your fresh start could look like. And maybe this is like a very small detail as to how you could kick that off. But I really think there's just one simple thing you have to do. And, well, not simple as in like, I could say it in a word. And we said like confrontation, conflict, addressing, letter, writing, talking, but there's something like that has to be done. And I really think, yeah. And I know in the beginning of the reading, I did say something about like, if you feel like you really need to love or care for something, and I stand by that. That was a small piece, and I feel like I glossed over it, but there's a whole thing here. Like there's this, I do think you want to care and love, and you have a lot of love to give. And I just feel like things got muddied a little bit up here, and you're just not doing things the way it feels authentic to you. You're just not living authentically. Okay. I think you're a great person. I think you're lovely. I think you have so much to give. And I do think that you're going to get this perspective, and you're going to feel like things are in focus. And I think that's perfect for you. So I'm very excited for you to do this. And I would love to hear your comments, feedback, like, subscribe, comment, whatever feels good. And thank you so much. Goodbye. This is Light and Bone Tarot. Thank you so much for being here and letting me read for you. This reading is about fresh starts. It is your fresh start, how to make the most of this do-over. I'm going to say this hasn't been like I don't know. It hasn't been like a super warm and fuzzy reading. It's been kind of heavy because these fresh starts, I feel like they come with a little bit of like, I don't know, backstory. There's a weight here, but I will say if you're here and you want a fresh start, I feel like the last two readings were really insightful, and I really hope that this helps you. So let's figure out what I need to see you right now. Like, why are you here? Why are you even asking about a fresh start? And then we're going to figure out how you can get that and what that looks like, and all the good things that come with that. So yeah, let's see you right now. What's the deal with like you wanting or seeking this kind of like reset, this fresh start? Page of Cups. Okay. The High Priestess. and the Tower. So the Tower is, one of probably the most prominent card in the deck to highlight fresh starts. This really is, for lack of a better term, very much like a crash and burn. Page of Cups, I've got to say, I feel like a relationship ended for you. This is the third reading today, or pile 3, and neither of the 2 readings before really had anything to do with love or relationships. So just so you know, if this is your pile and it tracks, this reading is unlike any of the others, and I really feel like somehow your fresh start has to do with mending a broken heart or a failed relationship or something along those lines. The High Priestess to me is like, you're divine feminine, you're mysterious, you're beautiful, you're the moon, you're all these things, but you're also probably a little lost, a little confused. Spiritually, I think you're trying to tap in, but you feel a little like you just don't really know what to grab onto right now. There is this sense of what's next? Where do I go? When's it going to feel better? And I can't feel that you really have a broken heart right now. I think your heart has been broken, or your heart's or it hasn't really sunk in, and there is going to be a period of heartbreak. Maybe right now there's like that transition that comes and you're kind of in a state of like shock or something. But either way, whether that's relevant or not, it doesn't matter. I just feel like your fresh start is dealing with something to do with love or relationships or a hurt heart or being single, being without, something like that. So I love readings. I love readings. They are my favorite. So let's see what you need. What's your fresh start look like? What is your fresh start look like? Okay, Death, not a bad card at all. Nothing to do with death. Queen of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. So let me think about this. So it's funny because the Tower is very much, I already said, the fresh starts. It's everything's new. It's like destruction. It's release. It's rebuilding. It's enlightenment. There's all sorts of things that come off of this card that are like the good, the bad, the ugly, the everything that has to do with like loss, one door closing, one door opening, all that. And death actually is interesting because death to me is new beginnings. It is this transformation. It's this change. It's cycles. It's that natural cycle of life. And things always, nothing's forever. Things are always dying or whatever, but then things are always living and coming to life as well. So to me, this is very much like cycles. And okay, so then we have these 2 Pentacle cards, and the Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing, very loving, very caring. There's like this, there's almost like this motherly kind of nurture aspect to the Queen of Pentacles. Just an earthy person. It doesn't make me think of someone who's like out dancing around Manhattan at night or something. Like this is someone who's like very like plugged into nature, or if they aren't in nature, that's where they want to be. Like that's where their heart is. It's with the animals and the birds and the plants. Like it's just a very connected to nature card. Okay, 4 of Pentacles, this to me is like, it's a little bit more of setting roots. It's grounding yourself. It's savings. It's kind of like just a momentary digging your heels in. So your fresh start, it's kind of all over the place, but it's a little bit in staying put. I think it's a little bit in writing this out. It's in seeing where this goes. In other words, to me, your fresh start, to me, in this reading, which does not have to speak for anything outside of this time that you watch this, to me, your fresh start isn't like escaping to Paris for a month, or it isn't doing something drastic or stepping outside of your comfort zone. To me, your fresh start is doing exactly like it's spending time with yourself, with your friends. It's being home. It's kind of setting roots. It's calming down. It's like, it's very much the opposite of what you would kind of think this reading would be about. And I do think something in your heart hurts. I do think it has to do with a relationship. I would say chances are there's kind of like a romantic connection that just didn't, it could be totally downplaying it, but just didn't work out the way you'd hoped. But now I feel like you need to tap into something that is already in front of you. You need to there's just kind of this like, I don't know, like digging your heels in and staying put energy. And that isn't necessarily an exciting message, but I really think this is your fresh start. And as weird as this message is, but as very specific as it is to me as I read it, maybe in doing this, I mean, if we look kind of deeper into this, who knows, maybe you'll be on your computer and you'll research something, and whatever you research will be the thing you're supposed to do. Like maybe there's actually a gift in you staying put. And by staying put, you know, maybe your parents live in the country. Maybe, I need to stop saying maybe, but perhaps like staying still, it doesn't have to mean you don't leave your living room. I just don't think it's like totally switching up your life. So if you love to cook and you haven't been cooking a lot, let's say you start cooking a little bit more. It's just, I feel like it's leaning into something that's very simple, that feels like home, that feels like second nature, that doesn't involve spending a lot of money or like getting the hell out of town. It's just, there's no escapism here. I feel like this is very much a back to roots, back to basics, keep it simple. It's in you. It's something that makes you happy. And this is your fresh start. This is your release. This is your freedom. There's something in this. So, and you know what? Maybe it's like watching Netflix and journaling for the next week or something. But I do think something comes of this, something that you wouldn't have seen if you weren't doing this. And who knows what that is, but I think there's something to it. So that's my message for you. I'm going to get a couple more cards because, I mean, let's at least try to get this reading up to 10 minutes. I want to see why you need this. Like, I want to kind of back this up with something. Why this? Why now? Why do you need this? And let's see what we have here. We have 5 of Swords, 4 of Cups, and the Lovers. Okay. So I think you need this. You need this for your peace of mind. I feel like you're slipping a little bit. You need this if you're ever going to have faith and love again, if you're ever going to want to be with anyone else, if you're ever going to like not hate men or women or the idea of a relationship, or just to heal whatever's wrong in you. But there's this, I don't know, bitterness is kind of an ugly word, but there's something a little bit harsh, a little acidic in you right now. Acidic, bitter, whatever, same difference, kind of. It's just that there's a little bite to you, and I think you need this to like reset and like chill the F out and like really have your like, I don't know, maybe like come to Jesus moment or something. So, there's this spiritual piece here as well, which is buried in these cards somewhere. Maybe a part of you in this relationship wasn't totally tapped in. Maybe you weren't living as like authentically or holistically or purely as you wanted to. And I feel like now is a chance also to get back to that. But the 4 of Cups the 4 of Cups is a card of, there's a little apathy here. There's a little numbness. There's just kind of this like blah, disillusionment, boredom, yearning. And I somehow think that whatever this formula I gave you earlier, which is basically do that simple thing that you love or do nothing at all, or just lean into the quiet, which might also be a little hard for you. It's one or the other. Either it's hard for you and you really need to do it and you haven't done it and it's going to be a challenge, but that will be a very like welcome challenge. Or it's what you really love to do and you haven't done enough of it. So either way, you need to do this. And it is going to give you, perspective. It's going to erase any of these just weird feelings. Like, I feel like right now you're in a state where like, you're not hungry, you're not thirsty, you're not craving anything, you're not tired, you're not awake. You're just I think you're just coasting on like whatever right now. So, and you probably do feel like, oh, if I did something crazy and exciting, if I, gave myself a budget of XYZ and went here for a week or 1 month or whatever, then that'll be the thing I need. And I just don't think it is. I think it's more like right in front of you kind of thing. Okay, that's a heavy reading. I'm going to, I picked these up, so I guess I will do it. I'm going to do one card to kind of like, this is you right now. It's probably not going to be that nice, but this is you right now. And then we're going to have a fun card to say like, this is your what you can look forward to. But this is you right now. Caching. You know, I tried to look this card up before because I got it before and I was like, what the hell does caching mean? And I looked it up, and for the life of me, I think I even Googled the word, and I'm like, caching. I don't know, like storing things away, saving, squirreling things away. I don't know. I don't even know what this word means. So maybe you don't even know where you are right now. Maybe this is you right now. You're just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. This might speak to you in some way. This might look like something you do. I don't know. Is this you on your lunch break? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I want to get it, but I don't. I probably will get it like later tonight in bed, but I'm sorry. I don't have a profound message for this, but maybe that's it. Maybe there's just nothing profound about you right now. You are just, I don't know. Okay. Sorry. No offense to you. I think you're onto something, really. I think things are going to be really good for you. And here's your near future. This is going to be a good one. And we'll say this is like your near future if you do this, but I think it's going to be your near future no matter what, because I think whatever you do is really what you're supposed to do. So lean into that. But let's say this is your near future. Oh God. Okay, happiness. You couldn't have asked for a better card, actually. The picture on here, it doesn't even matter what the words are. The picture's amazing. And I do think this is, the Lovers, like, I don't know, maybe you guys get back together if you have a hurt heart, but you can't get back together until you have a different perspective or you see something differently. Maybe there's another relationship that's infinitely better that will come to you if you're kind of like focused or stuck in this like love or wanting love thing. But whatever it is, happiness is 100% a message that was supposed to be brought to you. And again, this is you doing whatever you do, and that's what you're supposed to do. It's your path. And maybe this inspires you to do a little bit of what I said or none of it. I don't know, but you do have happiness coming. So if that's the only takeaway and you want to like wholeheartedly believe in that, I think that's a great message. And we don't know what caching is. I mean, leave a comment if you can speak to that card, please. But thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy to have you here. Hope your happiness totally pans out and delivers sooner than later. And you'll notice at some point no one really leaves me comments, but if you want to leave me a comment about sitting home and doing nothing for a week or sketching for a few days straight, I don't know, please do. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. Here and letting me read for you. This is Light and Bone Tarot, and we are doing a reading for, this is your fresh start. This is how you make the most of this do-over. I always feel the need to talk about the previous piles. I'll do it for like 10 seconds, but they were all very different and very interesting because each one kind of provided this, like, if you do this, it really will give you a fresh start. So let's see like what this fresh start you need is, what it looks like, how it's going to feel, and just what does your fresh start look like? And first I want to see, why are you here? Like, why are you here inquiring about a fresh start? And, let's see what this is for you. So why are you here? Okay, Three of Pentacles. Really had to think about what that one means for a second. The Magician. Page of Pentacles. Okay. There's a lot of earth energy here. There's a lot of like, so this to me is like magic and power and possibilities, and some things are going to happen. And this to me is like, there's this, not in a bad way, this kind of like stagnancy, this like, and I've said that truly in almost every reading we've had, so that's not a profound message, but there is this sense of like, for you, and this is unique to all the piles, something that was supposed to happen didn't happen. I feel like something you have been wanting to play out a certain way hasn't happened. And whether you're stuck on it, whether you're like hyper focused on it, whether you can't let go of it, I feel like the fresh start you need is either for this thing to happen, which is very much this Magician card, this capability to make this happen, or you need to like figure out how to like unstick yourself, because there is a sense of you being stuck. And I don't know that this stuck right now is like such a bad thing, although it doesn't really feel like a good thing. It just feels like you just feel a little bit stuck, and not in the like hangman way where like you're contemplating and you're thinking, almost like you're kind of like in quicksand stuck. Like I feel like you've started something, you've put energy into it, you've waited, you've worked it, and now you're just like, this, what's going on with this? So I don't want to in any way paint the picture that this thing isn't going to happen by any means. But I feel like your fresh start is either this thing happens or you create something else out of it. But, and this could be, it could be work. It could be some kind of like endeavor that brings you all this money or success or fortune. It could be a relationship. It could be a proposal. It could be something like along those lines. I really can't get a feel off of what it is, but it does feel like either, but I love the Magician card here because there's this magic, there's this power. And in a weird way, I almost feel like you have a power to make this happen still. Like you still have an ace in your pocket. There's something you can do here. Either you are terrified to do it, it comes with a risk, I don't know, but there's something like this is you right now. But you do need a fresh start because I think this space can get, you can get sucked into it very easily. Okay, I want to see, I feel like there's another question I want to ask before I ask what does your fresh start look like. All right, what does your fresh start look like? And then I'll get into some of the other ones. Okay, so the World, which I love for you. 8 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, really, really beautiful cards. Like no one else got these great cards on their, what does their fresh start look like? Your fresh start is literally new beginnings. It is hard work, and it is hard work paying off. I mean, the 10 of Pentacles is like the pinnacle of the pentacles. It is just the accumulation of like hard work, success, love, like a home, foundation. So your fresh start, I guess this is where I'm confused. Does your fresh start look like, is this what you can, no, I didn't ask what you can look forward to if you do your fresh start. I asked, what does your fresh start look like? So your fresh start, there's hard work involved. Okay. So there is absolutely a new approach. There's a new way of viewing this. There's almost like turning things upside down. There's very much this like new perspective, new angle. I do feel like things have to be shifted. And I almost feel like with the World card, you almost have to like let go of a few things or anticipate a different, not be so attached to a particular outcome. There's a little bit of like an uncontrolled piece here, but the World card's a good card. It's a positive card, and it's almost like you can manifest this world, this peace. Your fresh start is, it's wrapped up in all this hard work. The 10 of Pentacles is interesting because it's a little more challenging to describe. Okay. This is really positive. Okay. And I struggled with what question I was going to ask to this. And I stand by, I asked, what does your fresh start look like? But there's more here. There's a bigger story. This feels a lot like what your fresh start actually feels like. Like what is this going to bring about? And it's all positive. Whether we ask what it brings about or what does it look like, this does feel a little bit like there could be a relationship here. There's something that you're very attached to up here that didn't happen. There's an outcome you are attached to. There's a whole process. There's something very like close to your heart here, and you don't want to let go of it. You might be willing to tweak it a little bit, but I do think there's this like, what is this? What's the thing I can't put my finger on? But I have to say this is like, it's very, very positive and different than the other readings. And there's this, like, you've got this kind of thing. Like maybe your fresh start is you just doing that one thing that you've been holding back on, that one thing you're terrified of, that one thing that like, you know, you can do it, but it takes everything kind of thing, or there's absolutely no going back. It's almost like it's calling on you. This is very much, it's your world. You've put the work in, you know what this is. Like there's no surprises here. This Magician card really, really stands out. And for some reason, the 10 of Pentacles card really stands out, even though I haven't spoken to it very much, because this is the culmination of everything. There's a end the reward, whatever that is, the world, the Ten of Pentacles, it's rich. It's what you've wanted. And by rich, it can be rich in family, rich in love, rich in like financial payoff, rich in success. There's a richness here. And yeah, this is definitely the most exciting, as in like there's an energy coming off this cards that, so let's just say this reading, I might just say the same thing over and over again for the next 5 minutes. And if I do, I'm sorry, but I've already given a clear message. Your fresh start comes with you doing something that only you can do, that you've been putting off or you've been afraid of or walking away from. That is like just the overarching message here. Okay, let me see. What's the payoff? This is so much of like what you can look forward to. I want to do another line of tarot for you, but I'm trying to like, okay, let's ask about the Magician. I want information on what this takes. Tell me a little bit more about what you've been holding back from, what you're afraid of. Why is it like now on you? Just what's the story with this? Because this is you. Ten of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Empress. Okay. So the Ten of Swords is, it's the heavy card. It's like, it's a little bit of betrayal. Okay, well, this deck actually has two versions for two cards that are awful. Three of Swords and Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords in this deck, actually, I picked this card, which is not the awful card. And this is kind of like taking all your information and processing it and summing up all your knowledge and making the most of it. Whereas in general, the Ten of Swords is like getting stabbed in the back and killed. It's just a card of like the end. But then of course there's a new beginning, and it's not actually about death at all, but it's like your mind got the best of you. Your mind is officially taken over and your dark thoughts have prevailed. But here it's a little bit different. So bear with me. I mean, really bear with me. This card to me, and the Empress is my favorite card in the whole deck. Always, I stand by that. There is a mindset that's needed here. I mean, there is a fresh start that's needed. There is a fresh beginning. That's Ace of Wands. Somehow you need to, there's an approach you need to take that's different. There's a mindset. There might be a genuine, like, maybe you haven't been completely honest with yourself about something. Maybe you've over or underestimated a situation. Maybe there's something, there's an ability you have, there's a talent, but it's like, it's extreme. So to do this thing that you want to do, I think it takes skill. I think it takes precision. I think it takes, I was going to say class, but that doesn't really make sense. There's a delicate way of doing it. And in the Empress card, I kind of feel that, and that delicacy, it's almost like there's this feminine touch that it needs. There's this gentleness. It's not something that can be rushed. It's maybe the timing hasn't been right for this. But this is very much, I don't know, no one else but you can do this. And okay, I'm going off the rails here. I'm personally not going off the rails. I see the picture, but as I try to describe it, it gets a little all over the place. So I'm going to try to just not put more information into the story and just leave it where we are. Although I am going to still pull two more cards, but you've got this, and you definitely have the knowledge. You've experienced enough around what is needed to put all your information, all your data points, like you really have this. If there was fear behind it, which could have been the Ten of Swords, I don't think it's there anymore, because you've replaced that fear with actual know-how, knowledge, input, intel. And you have whether it's charisma needed to pull this off, charm, beauty, brains, grace. I mean, you have all these things. You have the genuine sincerity. You have it. I don't think you always had it, or you weren't always ready to tap into it, but it's here now. And this is a new path for you. I mean, Ace of Wands is the beginning of a path. This is This is your fire. This is your passion. It's here. So, yeah, it's here. And this is, I mean, it's your new world. It is your fresh start, and it's up to you. I mean, and unique to any other pile, there's just very much this is you. It's not like whatever this is that you have to do, you can now do it. And maybe you're here watching this reading to highlight, like, look, you're ready. You've got this. It's your message. Ah, shit. Oh my God. Okay. That's not good. Okay. Let's do these cards. I want to do one of, how many of these are in the wrong direction? I want to do one of these to kind of show where you're at right now, just to, I've said, like, kind of validate this rambling reading that I've done, that I stand by and totally understand. But I want, if you're feeling like this is, you know, just a bunch of words, let's see where you're at right now. And then I'm going to do another card to show what this looks like for you, what your near future looks like if you follow your gut, your instincts, your power, your capabilities, whatever this is. Okay, so let's see you right now. What are you? Sacred space. So whatever that means. You're holding space right now. You're holding space for yourself right now. I think you're analyzing things. I think you're putting a lot of thought into this. And I actually do think you know this is coming. Like, the beautiful storm's about to come. You're about to burst free from your cocoon. I really feel like this is you. You're about to come out and do something great, or whatever you need to do to start fresh, to just literally, like, start your life. And whatever that is, that could be the relationship, that could be career, that could be passion project, whatever it is, there's something, but I don't know that it's any of those. There's something greater going on here. But, anyway, maybe it is one of those. But yeah, you've held this space for a while, and it's beautiful, it's strong, but now it's your time it's time for action. It is time for action. That is definitely like a phrase or a takeaway. It's literally your fresh start happens with action. And I could just hinge the whole reading on that, and I'll say it again, because I really do believe that if we want you to, like, master this do-over, you just have to act. You just have to do it. And your near future, if you do this, or whatever you do, is what you're supposed to do. It's the right thing. This is your card. This is your near future. And we have Voyage, which is not what I would have expected, but, you know, it is your voyage. It's your journey. It's your mission. And this little whale's not alone. So something tells me you also aren't alone in this. There's something here. Still, I stand by. This feels like it could be a relationship, or deepening some kind of connection, or taking something to the next level. But this next level requires something heavy, deep, intense, internal. You're pulling from somewhere to do this. But yeah, there is a voyage. There's a new journey ahead of you. And this is your fresh start. You're something new and exciting. And this it does feel like an adventure, much like this new world for you that I've said, which is not something I've said on any of the other readings, probably because the World Cup didn't come up. But, there is this journey, this voyage, this adventure, this new path, this new everything, this fresh start. And it is, I think it's something you're going to love, and it's going to feel very, exciting and beautiful and serene and everything you wanted. So I like the Voyage card. I like the picture. It's a little blue and somewhat melancholy, but there's nothing melancholy about a whale balloon with strings attached to it. So anyway, enjoy this. Okay. I, would love to hear your thoughts, comment, like, subscribe, whatever feels good. I really hope you like this reading. I really hope you're still here right now. Thank you so much. Goodbye.